Today we're heading to the laid-back shores of San Clemente, California to uncover what makes this beach town an unforgettable coastal getaway. From the stunning views to the iconic San Clemente Pier, we'll be hitting all of the must-see stops and indulging in some delicious food along the way. So come with us as we spend the perfect day in San Clemente, and let's jump in. We began the day by heading down to the San Clemente Pier, finding a spot to park in the parking area, and then starting the walk to get breakfast. Since we had the kids with us, we packed the stroller and we started walking on the San Clemente Beach Trail. We headed south about a quarter of a mile to T Street Beach and to our first stop, West Toast Cafe. Self-described as a place that creates healthy and fresh dishes and right on the sand, we figured it was a great stop for breakfast. We grabbed a breakfast sandwich, a sweet and savory toast to share, and a couple of coffees and just enjoyed the views. If you're into bodyboarding, T Street Beach is one of the most popular in the area, but we just headed back on the trail to explore more of the beach. One of the best things to do on your morning in San Clemente is to walk along this trail. It's a couple miles, the train goes right by, the beach is on that side. It's an incredible way to start the morning. It was a beautiful morning in San Clemente and the kids were happy in the stroller, so we decided to get our workout and walk about a mile up the coast. This is a 2.5 mile trail that parallels the beach, and it's a great way to walk, bike, or even run between the different areas. What's cool about this trail is that you cross the train tracks a couple times. There's nice ways for you to see whether the train's coming so it doesn't surprise you, and you get different views. So now we're on this side of the train tracks and got these beautiful views right here. This is just a cool trail. Unfortunately, due to some landslides, you can't actually walk the entire trail right now, and the elevated bridge portion is closed.
Like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
The waves. As we were turning around to head back, we saw a train coming in the distance, so we waited and waved, and the train actually honked at my kids, which was a huge highlight. After watching it go by, we walked back to the beach. The waves to the right of the pier are really popular for surfing, and you'll often see a lot of people out in the water. We set up our blankets and just hung out in the sand watching the surfers, with the kids' highlights being chasing the seagulls around and running into the waves as much as possible. Pretty hard to beat a perfect morning in San Clemente. Look at the weather, the waves, perfect. Got everybody loaded up. I think we took half of the beach sand home and we were heading on to our next stop. From there, we decided to head over to a Southern California institution, Rainbow Sandals. They were first started by the owner in his Laguna Beach home before he relocated to San Clemente in 1974. Growing up in Southern California, I've been buying rainbows for as long as I can remember, and every time I'm in the area, if I need a new pair, I stop by here to get them. Got some sandals for a couple members of our crew, and now we're heading on to get lunch. All throughout college, I would come down to San Clemente often to surf, and so I have some local favorites, with the first being Pedro's Tacos. I know we said we were just doing the perfect day, but we're actually spending the night because the kids still nap, so we're eating here at our hotel, and we got the trestle, or the California burrito, the Trestles burrito, the beef taco, and the cheese quesadilla. Amy and I went halves, half California burrito, half Trestles to share. Pedro's never disappoints, and it was fun to eat it again since it had been years since I had been down here. After that, the kids went down for a nap, and I headed on to Casa Romantica. This house was built in 1927 by Ole Hansen, who was the founder of San Clemente. The house was built in a Spanish Revival style, and it's now a museum, cultural center, and gardens for the city. The gardens here are beautiful with their towering cactus and butterfly habitats, and it's just a great place to walk around and enjoy the Southern California coastal weather. Unfortunately, most of the stuff here is closed or under construction, but they said they're hoping to open within the next month or two, so maybe by the time this video is out, they'll be opening. Unfortunately, a landslide in 2023 damaged the exterior of the property and caused some of the gardens to fall 25 feet down the cliff below. Most of the house is therefore inaccessible, and they've been working on it for over a year, so hopefully it is able to open again soon. Regardless, it's still a beautiful place to explore, and it only costs $5 to enter. Can you even imagine how good this view is when it's actually open? That would be a beautiful coastal view. I would definitely have to come back. The kids are still sleeping, so I decided to go hike out to Trestles. I've always wanted to see this famous surf beach, and I've never been. Let's go. This is not one of those beaches you just show up at. You have to park, then you have to hike under the freeway and all the way out to the beach. It's about 3/4 of a mile each way. Once you go under the freeway, the dirt single track turns into a paved road, and I had many people pass me with e-bikes here. You'll walk along the paved road for about 10 minutes until you'll reach a large paved area with a few different porta potties and some information on surfing at trestles. The bridge here used to be a wooden trestle, which is where it got its name, but it was replaced by this concrete bridge that still says trestles on it though. From here you can walk under the bridge and out on the sand and you'll arrive at this historic surfing spot. Unfortunately, when I was there, it was a bad time for surfing and there was only 3 surfers in the water that I could see. I sat for about 30 minutes and watched them ride the little waves as much as possible before deciding it was time to move on.
Not much going on right now, only a couple surfers out there, but it's still cool to see such a legendary break, and I'd love to come back here when it's going off.
After doing the hike back to the car, I decided to head downtown and grab some coffee before picking up the family. My favorite place in the city is called Sir Coffee, and they have great drinks, and I usually take home a bag of beans as well.
Got 2 cortados, now heading back to hang out with the family.
This isn't sponsored or anything, but we stayed at San Clemente Inn, and it was well priced and had lots of cool amenities for families. They had activities like rock painting, which were a huge hit, and they had a game room, plus we spent a lot of time hanging out by the pool.
All right, I'm back with the crew, and we're gonna give you 2 options for dinner tonight. The first is Pizza Port.
If you're not from Southern California, you may not be familiar with Pizza Port, but it's a chain of about 5 restaurants that extend from North San Diego up to San Clemente. They specialize in pizza and they have all sorts of interesting pizza options, and the pizza here is incredible. Plus they have an extensive beer menu with guest beers and a lot of different beers they make themselves. And we got the Imperial Beach Pizza, which has ricotta, mozzarella cheese, chicken, poblanos, heart of palm, fresh garlic basil, and spicy honey.
What do you give it out of 10?
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up out of 10? Okay. Really fun spot for dinner, especially with kids. They have games you can play, they have great pizza, good drinks, and here is our second recommendation for dinner. We're back at the beach, this time to have dinner and to watch the sunset.
If you're looking for something a little more coastal than Pizza Port, head down to the beach near the pier and go to the Fisherman's Restaurant and Bar. There's a restaurant side and a bar side, the bar side of which is cheaper and the restaurant side which is more fine dining. Both sides have outdoor tables that sit above the sand looking out over the view, but we sat on the bar side. They often have discounts for happy hour, so we got some smoked fish and shrimp cocktail to start the meal.
So Amy got salmon tacos, Jack and Sunny both had hot dog night where they got to pick whatever they wanted on their hot dog, and it comes with popcorn, and I got a poke bowl. I don't know, what do you guys think? 1 thumb up or 2?
The food here is pretty great, but the highlight for the kids was definitely watching the train go by every 20 minutes or so. With bellies full and lots of trains viewed, it was time to explore the pier as fast as possible.
Best way to tire out toddlers is to run the pier.
We made it all the way to the end, watched some of the fishermen doing their thing, took in the views, and then began to sprint all the way back to the beginning.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm happy to have gotten out of that race.
When we made it back, we decided to cross over the street and to grab some ice cream before watching the sunset.
Best day ever.
We headed to Catarina's, which specializes in gelato and has been here for over 30 years. The rest of this night was us just walking back over to the sand and enjoying one of the best sunsets I've seen in a long time.
I don't know what you think, but this is pretty hard to beat.
As I look back on this footage, I've really connected with why it felt so special to me. My kids just turned 4, and this was one of the first times that I've really felt that idea of seeing the world through your kids' eyes.
Thinking about the horizon.
It's sinking below the horizon?
Yeah,
What is?
the sun is.
I've seen many beautiful sunsets over my time on Earth, but being able to see my kids just connect and enjoy this was something I'll never forget. They didn't care about how cold the water was, they were just jumping in and splashing away and just talking about how amazing the sunset was out in front of them. As I've become older, I can tell you on one hand how many times I've gone into the ocean in the last 5 years, and so being able to see their joy just brought me a whole new understanding and appreciation for this incredible moment. I'm sure there's parents out there who understand, and I'm sure there's people who aren't parents who understand just the value of a special moment and taking the time to really experience it.
Best night ever.
Thanks for spending the day exploring San Clemente with us. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Bye, have a nice day.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, and if you made it to the end of the video, one more thing. There's an awesome tiki bar in San Clemente called the Lost Inferno. Amy took one for the team and she went out and tried the drinks there for us after the kids went to sleep. Alright, that's it for this one. We'll see you on the next one.